Forbid empathy. Empathy is weakness.
This guy, let's just call him the Ghost, isn't your average dude. He's a stone-cold hitman with nerves of steel, hiding out in an old, abandoned warehouse that probably hasn't seen life in years. It's his temporary lair, and he's camped out there for days, doing nothing but watching and waiting. His eyes are locked on one house across the street. His target lives there. He's been glued to the same dusty chair, peeking through a busted window, hoping for the right moment to do the job and vanish. 5 whole days go by. Nothing. No sight of the man he's supposed to kill. The boredom and hunger finally get to him, so he figures it's safe to step out for a bit and grab some food. While out, people around treat him like he's just some random German tourist, not exactly eager to make friends. Works in his favor though, less attention the better. Groceries in hand, he calls up his contact.
Exact movies on the show, but according to every bit of additional information I've been able to get, he's expected.
In 5 days. I'll give it today and tomorrow.
Just call if the next 24 hours pass.
Before heading back to his little hideout, he swings by his target's house and observes everything. The guards outside, the rhythm of the street, the people passing by. He takes mental notes like a detective. Once back inside, he sets up his sniper and double-checks everything. Tonight might be the night. He does his usual routine, brushing teeth like a regular guy, but every 10 minutes his alarm goes off so he can peek outside and see if the target shows up. The guy barely gets any real sleep. Then, finally, late into the night, movement stirs outside. He spots the target stepping out of a car with a woman who looks like a dancer or a stripper.
I find music a useful distraction, a focus tool. Keeps the inner voice from wandering. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a fuck. Forbid empathy. Empathy is weakness.
The moment turns to chaos. Before he can shoot again, the window slams shut, and the guards inside are now on high alert. He's blown it. No time to panic. He disassembles the rifle. Once he's far enough, he ditches the scooter and goes on foot. He tosses his helmet into a river, finds a grocery store, and uses the restroom to clean himself up, shaving off his beard, changing clothes, making himself look like someone else entirely. Even disinfects the place so no DNA or prints get left behind. From there, it's straight to the airport. But before going in, he dumps the sniper in a trash can. As he waits in line to board a flight, he feels the heat, literally. A police dog starts staring him down like it knows something's off. The Ghost panics for a moment, rushes into the restroom again, cleans up, rechecks everything. He rejoins the queue with a new identity, Felix Anger. Fake ID, fake everything. He's almost on the plane when his handler calls again, pissed off about the failed hit.
President.
It happened.
Is that what you suggest I inform the client? It happened. Window of opportunity's closed now for who knows how long. And we'll do whatever's necessary. You let me know the moment you're alone.
On board, things don't feel right. A guy sitting nearby looks suspicious. Could be following him. So the Ghost makes a decision. As soon as the plane lands, he buys a whole new ticket under a different name. But the shady guy also buys another flight. That confirms it. He's being tailed. Not wanting to take any chances, he decides to stay the night in a hotel. Before going to bed, he rigs the door with a makeshift trap, a simple thing that'll alert him if anyone tries to sneak in. He grabs a knife and waits. The night passes without incident. Next day, new flight. No signs of being followed. He finally lands in the Dominican Republic, his safe zone, drives for hours back to his home, tucked away in the middle of nowhere. But the moment he reaches the gate, alarm bells start ringing. He spots fresh footprints in a pile of cigarette butts. Not good. He calls his girlfriend. No answer. Then finally a pickup. She's in the hospital. He rushes over. Find her unconscious, hooked up to machines, with her brother by her side. Turns out 2 people, a man and a woman, broke into the house. They were after him, but found his girlfriend instead. She fought back, took a beating, and barely survived. Somehow, after escaping, she saw the killers leaving in a taxi with a green rooftop. He stays with her overnight. Eventually, she wakes up and recounts the horror. How they tortured her, tried to get info about him, but she didn't break. Hearing all this, the ghost is done hiding. He wants revenge. Back at his place, he pulls out a stashed weapons case. It's go time. Next day, he drives all over town searching for that green-top taxi. No luck, so he thinks smarter, not harder. That night, he sneaks into the city's taxi dispatch center and holds the manager hostage. Bingo. Next morning, he waits outside the taxi stand for the guy. The driver shows up, clueless. The ghost gets into the car, like a regular customer. They drive around for a bit, and then the hitman pulls a gun. The driver, terrified, thinks it's a robbery and gives up his wallet. But the ghost isn't after cash. He wants answers. Starts grilling the guy about the 2 passengers. Once the driver realizes what's really going on, he spills everything. He remembers picking up a man and a woman from a private airfield and dropping them off at a house. When they came back, the guy's leg was messed up, but the driver didn't ask questions. Just drove them back to the airport.
Take this next exit.
All I know is that I was starving and I didn't care how much the meter was ticking. I was going to leave them, but I almost
Pull
did.
up in here.
They came back after sunset. The guy's leg was all bloody and fucked up. They wanted me to take him back to the airport, so I did. I walked back.
By now, he has what he needs. He books a flight to New Orleans under another fake identity. Once there, he rents a van, drives to a storage locker filled with gear, grabs new weapons, changes the van's plates, and heads to a cleaning supply shop. He pretends to be a contractor, stocks up on cleaning tools, loads up the van, and gets ready for his next move. He heads over to the building where his handler works. The idea? Sneak in posing as a cleaner. Problem is, the place needs a pass to get in. So he waits. Soon, a delivery guy shows up.
Yo, thank you so much, man. You're a lifesaver.
Now inside, the ghost acts like everything's normal. Once alone, he pulls his gun, bursts into the handler's office. There's a secretary there. He makes her tie up the handler, then tie herself up too. The handler's stunned. Swears he didn't know anything about the attack on the girlfriend. Turns out, the big shot client who'd hired him for that job wasn't happy about how things turned out. The hit had failed, and to make matters worse, the assassin was still breathing. That didn't sit well with the client. The handler, the guy who passes down all the dirty work, told him straight up, the client was so pissed he ordered a hit on the hitman. That's right, they sent a couple of cold-blooded killers to his place to wipe him out. But since he wasn't home, they found his girlfriend instead.
Who do you think you're trying to intimidate? It's to turn around right now, walk out that door. You went home. How could you have, realizing my hands would... You had to have known, you must have, that I'd have no say in the matter going forward, and still you went home. Though it's not too late. Even now, this entire debacle can be salvaged, but only if you disappear.
But the assassin? He wasn't having it. No way was he running scared. Instead, he grabbed a nail gun. Yeah, a literal nail gun. Tested it out on a busted laptop just to see what kind of damage it could do. Spoiler alert, it could do a lot.
Not in a million years. I wish you well.
The assassin even offered to call an ambulance if the handler spilled the beans about the 2 hitmen. But the handler bled out faster than expected. Didn't get to say a word. Now, disappointed and angry, the assassin turned his attention to the handler's secretary. He figured he'd have to tie up loose ends and get rid of her too. But the woman wasn't dumb. She figured out what was coming. So, she made him a deal. She told him she knew who the 2 killers were. And if he agreed not to toss her body in some unmarked grave, she'd give him their names. Her only request, if he was going to kill her, make it look like an accident. That way, her kids could cash in on her life insurance. Strange as it sounds, the assassin agreed.
Fight only the battle you're paid to fight, each and every step of the way. Ask if you want to succeed.
On the drive, She tried one last time to beg for her life, but he stayed cold and quiet. When they got to her garage, she screamed for help, but nobody heard.
Go to N. Under N in numerical order, there's an addendum on the back. It should be 2 wire transfer routing numbers.
The kids would get the payout, a weird kind of mercy. Later, he went back to his secret storage space and burned the handler's body completely. Took the ashes and dumped them off a bridge, gone without a trace. Then he scrubbed the van, threw out the fake license plates, and returned it to the rental company like nothing ever happened. Now it was time for revenge. His first stop? Florida. He tracked down the male killer first, staked out his house from a distance, and spotted the guy hanging out with a bunch of dudes and a dog. But it was the limp that gave him away. The guy had a bad leg, probably from the earlier break-in. The assassin waited all day. Eventually, he followed them to a casino and then waited until the target came back home, alone. The moment the coast was clear, he moved in. But the dog started barking like crazy. He tossed it some drug food, hoping it'd knock out. After a while, the barking stopped. He snuck inside, ready to end it. But it wasn't going to be that easy. The guy was waiting for him. The noise woke up the drug dog, who came charging to avenge his owner. The assassin bolted outside, trapped the dog in the garage, and then torched the house with a Molotov. Flames lit up the night sky. Revenge Part 1? Complete. Next up, New York City. Time to find a female assassin. Using another fake ID, he flew out and rented a car. Camped outside her house, waiting for the right moment. That night, she left home and headed to a fancy restaurant with a man. He waited until her date left, then walked in. She saw him coming. Didn't scream, didn't beg. Just accepted her fate. Ordered a glass of the priciest booze, leaned back, and asked if the handler was dead. He nodded. She smiled a little, seemed satisfied with that. Then she spilled. Said it was never personal. She was just following orders. Claimed she didn't agree with what they did to the girlfriend, but went along with it anyway. Her mission had been the assassin, not the girl. The torture wasn't part of the plan. He didn't care. Revenge was revenge. She knew she was done. They left together, heading to a deserted park. A knife dropped from her hand. He didn't wait around. Booked it out of the park and caught a flight to Chicago. Final mission, find the client behind everything. After digging up info, he found out the man was loaded, a billionaire. That made things trickier. The place was crawling with security. So he started watching. Saw the client leave the house one day and slipped in through the garage, but the door was locked tight. No problem. He snapped a photo of the lock, searched online how to clone the entry card, and placed an order for the tool. While waiting, he moved money from his accounts into a secret bank account in the Dominican Republic under a fake name, Jefferson. He also picked up a new gun from a local dealer. When the cloning tool arrived, he booked a gym appointment in the same high-rise the client lived in. While there, he swiped the cleaning guy's key card and cloned it. That same evening, he used a fake card to sneak into the client's room. The guy didn't even recognize him at first. Played dumb. Said he had no clue who he was. But the assassin pulled out the postcard. That changed everything. The client froze, then slowly pieced it together. He remembered. This was the guy who botched the job. Panicked, the client started talking fast. Said it wasn't his call to send those killers. Sure, the failed hit upset him, but he let it go as just a screw-up. It was the handler who convinced him that the assassin had to be taken out. Said it was too risky leaving him alive. The cops could connect the dots. So the handler asked for $150,000 more to clean up the mess. The assassin believed him. Not fully, but enough. Before leaving, he warned the client to keep his mouth shut. Ever. Or he'd be back. The client agreed, shaking. Then, just like that, the assassin vanished again. He flew back to the Dominican Republic, where his girlfriend was finally healing. Job done. Body's buried. And peace, at least for now.